Probably the best thing I ever did as a parent was teach my children to read, the traditional method of over the knee, enjoying that. And I think it is amazing for our children to be able to do that. But not every parent can manage that. Perhaps they don't understand English well enough. They're not confident in teaching to read. So this tool is truly incredible to help with this. And not only does it do it in a fun way, it gives motivation, it's gamified, it's a really powerful tool. So let's dive in to the Microsoft Reading Coach. And this literally works on any device with a decent browser. So the first thing we need to do is go to the website. You will get an Office 365 login. Now in my case, that is going to redirect me to my schools page, which is a Google login, but it's all one sign. So pretty easy to do, and hopefully most of you know how to get in. So when we get started, you have a few choices. You can create a story using AI, you can read a passage from our library, and you can add your own passage. The create story from your AI is really fun. Now you'll notice some of these things are grayed out. And what happens is the more you read, the more options you get. So we'll start, and we will start with an owl, and we can pick a few places. Let's pick a mountain, and we can choose our reading level. In this case, I chose level 2. That's fairly simple. And now we create my story, and off we go. So I'm going to start reading. The mountain was big and green, with trees covering it to the top. In a hole on the side, a small owl lived. His name was Ollie. So now what you can see is the accuracy, pronunciation accuracy, the reading time, your next reading reward, which is 20 minutes, and no words to practice. Good job. Okay, so we'll have another look and we'll continue. Not yet. What we're going to do is just have a look at some of the text preferences. So by default it's Calabri, Sitka, which is very much like Times New Roman and very good if you are going to have very traditional text, and Comic Sans, which has more of a handwriting style. Also, particularly for your dyslexic students, you can pick it, but I think it's just nice that you can pick a color theme that really works for you and is comfortable for your students. You can also choose the size, and so that's very powerful. Now, if you're particularly practicing something, another thing you can do is highlight parts of speech. So you might highlight the nouns. You can even show the syllables, which makes it easier to see which bits you're practicing. And you can also line focus. So let's have a look at that line focus and have a look at this. Now, I think it's nice to have 3 lines at a time. So let's try that just as a thing. Now, if you made mistakes like that, you can practice words.
Practice makes progress.
Implore. Explore. Now, one of the really cool things is that you can paste any passage you like. And I made this one in ChatGPT, and it's James and the Magical Counting Trick. And the wonderful thing about this is that we can specify, we can make it about your classroom, we can make it about encouraging the behaviors that we want. So in this case, I'm trying to encourage people to be patient. And I do think ChatGPT's got me banged to right. Right, have I got this configured nicely? It looks pretty decent. It's got the nouns things, it's got a nice color scheme that I like. So I think I can probably read this without too much difficulty. So let me just have a little check. Not yet. Always good to have a look at the size. Some students do find it a little bit difficult. So we want to check that the size is nice and easy to read. But at the same time, we might have to scroll sometimes with a slightly longer text like this one. Okay, so I press the green one and off we go. James was the best computer science teacher around, but even James had days when things didn't go as planned. One sunny morning, James was excited to teach his students how to build a robot. Everything was ready, the tools, the instructions, and even googly eyes for the robots. But then disaster struck. "Mr. James, my robot arm is stuck," cried Mia. "Mr. James, my code isn't working," said Max. "Mr. James, I spilled glue everywhere," shouted Ella. James felt his head start to spin. It seemed like all the problems were happening at once, but James had a secret trick for moments like this, counting to 10. He took a deep breath and began, 1, 2, 3, and he counted. He pictured peaceful things, fluffy clouds, soft waves at the beach, and a big happy robot dancing. By the time he reached 10, James felt calm again. He smiled and said, "Okay, one thing at a time. Mia, let's fix that robot arm first." With James' calm approach, the class worked again to solve all the problems. Mia's robot arm moved perfectly. Max's code made the robot spin, and Ella cleaned up her glue spill like a pro. At the end of the day, Mia asked, "Mr. James, how did you stay so calm?" James winked. "It's my magical counting trick. When things feel tricky, I just count to 10 and take a deep breath. You can try it too." From that day on, James's students used the magical counting trick whenever they felt stressed. And just like James, they learned that staying calm could help them solve any problem, even robot ones. Oh, very nice. 96% accuracy. A couple of things I do need to practice. The reading coaching tool is a fantastic tool that is great for parents to help their students learn to read with confidence, but it also enables much more reading aloud practice in classes because teachers don't have the time to do one-to-one, but with this tool, every child can have individual personalized attention.